first. The defensive performance today, what you thought was working early on, and kind of it seemed like Penn State started to really get it moving at the second quarter, third quarter, what they were showing you was difficult.
Yeah, I think, our game plan was to make them run the length of the field. I think the guys came out and executed at a high level. I think we, had some critical third downs where we got off the field and then had a couple that we didn't. We just felt like, when you looked at them collectively, if we did a good job keeping the ball in front of us and then execute at a high level on third down, it'd give us a chance to win. Obviously, put in some tough situations. I thought they were resilient in those, but when you look at the stat line overall, it's kind of what you saw. I mean, we had more first downs than they did. We let 4 or 5 runs pop that we didn't get lined up. The short yardage, really their drives they got going in the second half, minus the short fields or what have you, were just tempoing us getting lined up in some of those key situations. Didn't feel like they changed the line of scrimmage. I thought we stood up. Thought we were gassed, probably from the first quarter because we were on the field a long time in that first quarter. And I think, over the course of the game, that probably wore on us. But yeah, there were, 4 or 5 runs uncharacteristic that we didn't, net the football, get them down, whatever that situation was. Got tempo, didn't get cleats in the ground. But I thought, I was proud of the resiliency our kids had. When our back was against the wall, especially early.
And Casey, can you talk about what you kind of hope the offense learns from a game like this? What Kevin can kind of learn when obviously there's some execution mistakes and what they can take away from it.
Yeah, well, the number one thing is that you can't be reckless with the ball. That was obviously put us in a hole, put Scott the defense in a hole early on. I do think that he responded later, and he had some throwaways that we had talked about at halftime. So he was able during the course of the game to adjust some of those things. But that you play a good team like Penn State, and that's going to cost you ultimately in those situations. Obviously, we got to do a better job finishing in the red zone. I thought we did. I thought we were aggressive. The game plan was to be aggressive. We knew we wanted to attack. We wanted to try to get things done. We kind of missed the throw there on the first drive of the game that would have been had a chance to score a touchdown there. And we were just trying to be aggressive in those situations. Challenged them at halftime, playing such a tough first half. Came back out just, very similar, I thought, to what we did at Clemson. Had a 10-play drive and a 13-play drive. Now they ultimately only resulted in 3 points. So we got to find ways to finish once we get down there and make sure that we do the things that are necessary. I think as far as, Kevin enters the offseason as the proclaimed starter, and he's our guy, and he knows what it looks like to get to this point. And anybody more disappointed than him right now. And but I know that he's got a short memory. He's done a great job of that, having that all year long. Obviously, he's got to come with maturity. He's got to bring the maturity on. You know what I mean? And it's now the entire team is relying on him to be able to continue to handle and move the ball the way that we need to. And it's not a backup quarterback coming in situation like he was halfway through the season. It's now it's your team, and we got to go from a seriousness standpoint from that. But I was really proud of how they responded, honestly, coming out in the second half. And I think we've commented on this. We've been part of games this year where everything you call works, and we've been part of games this year where nothing you call works. And it's kind of just one of those days for us offensively.
In the center front row.
Steve Lansdale, Pony fans. When you guys go into the locker room on the short end of 28-point margin, how much in the offensive side, how much of the conversation was schematic adjustment, and how much was you and the offensive staff trying to sort of help your guys regroup and restart that second half with a new outlook?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think you probably answered it in your question. It was a lot of it was that, schematically. I think that we felt like we had good scheme. We thought we'd run the ball a little better version than we did. Some of that was execution. Some of it was just missed holes. And sometimes they just make plays. I mean, they're a good football team. Some of those holes close up faster versus a defense like this than others that you had. So we felt good schematically going in there. Kevin felt good about what we were asking him to do offensively. We talked about helping with the protections a little bit more. We had been exposed in some empty protections there in the first half, so we tried to do that. And you saw us get some throws off down the field, including the touchdown in the last play of the game, just helping shore up some of those sort of things for him. But other than that, there weren't major schematic adjustments from that. It was getting those guys ready to go. And honestly, it wasn't hard. They were confident, and I felt like they came back out in the second half ready to go. we took the ball, moved it 10 plays down the field, and couldn't punch it in there close, but scored points, did the things that we had to do, and when we got the ball back, marched it down there again, and just misfired, you got the offsides penalty. That was certainly a factor down there in that student section end zone that you got to be able to account for into the future. But now that our guys have had a taste of what this game's like, have had a taste of the success of what this thing can be, there wasn't a lot of hung heads in the locker room. There was a lot of disappointment, there was a lot of sadness, but there was a lot of confidence too that Penn State, ESP, everybody that watched this didn't get to see the best version of what SMU's offense can be. And but I think that they're confident in what the future of this thing can be.
Casey, Billy Embody on Pony Express. With Kevin, the last 2 games didn't start that well for him just from a turnover perspective. I know you guys went right down the field that opening drive, but now that he is the returning starter, do the conversations change around turnovers, maybe as far as preparing him to maybe avoid some of those in a sense?
Yeah, they have to, right? In order for us to be good, he's a guy that has to be able to differentiate between a play that he can make and a play that's not worth trying to make. So sometimes you're late in the game and we're pushing down there and a play's got to be made in certain situations. Then you got to have freedom to be able to play the way you're going to play. On 2nd and 10, backed up at your own 20 on the second drive of the game, it ain't worth doing some of the. So I think that being able to differentiate, some of those just come with the experience of playing the game, right? He's got to get out there and be able to identify certain drives of the game, understand situational football. That's the next development, I think, in Kevin's game, is really embracing what it is that we got to do: third down, score zone, red zone, certain times during the game, when to take hits, when not to take hits. I mean, it's all that's gonna his growth and developments. This year it started out let's just execute plays. Then it was let him play and get the ball moving around. Then we got hot. Then it was we kind of just played man from that front situation, and he was able to respond a couple different times with our backs against the wall, and really did a good job, I thought, there in the second half and leading it down. But sure, into the future, he's got to have a better situational awareness. Day one install of situational awareness is you can't turn the football over and have a chance to succeed and put our defense in bad situations like we did. So certainly that'll be something that we're invested in, but we're really proud of where he got here. He's as disappointed, like I said, as anybody, but I think that we got a great opportunity moving into this offseason with him leading us.
Got time for a couple more. We'll stay front row.
Scott, Penn State's tight end Tyler Warren won the Mackey Award, had some enormous numbers during the course of the year, and he got some plays today, obviously. But how did you stimulate him in practice, and what was your key to, I don't know if you want to say keeping him in check, but not letting him have one of his huge days?
No, I mean, you can't simulate him in practice. Our scout team guys tried to give us a look, but that's not the same. I think our guys were really, clued into him, and like I said, I mean, we felt like going into the game, once again, that if we limited explosive plays and we're efficient on third down, and we were at least even in the battle of field position, that we'd give ourselves a chance to win. And we really, like I said, we had the one short yardage touchdown run at Pop where we were not lined up. I mean, they tempoed us. We weren't all on the same page. Got to put us in a better situation to get us lined up in that. And that whole drive basically was tempo plays that we just weren't cleats in the dirt. But we gave up. I mean, the long pass, I believe, was 25 yards, so one explosive pass. I think Warren's long was 15. So I mean, we our guys practiced well. We felt like, once again, I felt like, obviously, if we win the battle of field position and we were efficient on third down, which we were under our goal, we were, a little bit over 50%, I believe. Our goal is 66%. There was one or two calls I wish we had back on third down. But we had a big fourth down stop too there. So it was kind of a tale of, I felt like, about 5 plays for us on defense, really, that, you're in tough situations, you got to find a way to make it play to give yourself a chance to win the game. So I thought those guys gave us a good look, and our guys, were locked in with game plan and confident, just, didn't execute quite well enough in that type of a game.
Final question, we'll stay front row.
For both of you guys, what is this season overall? Your initial thoughts on it? What does it mean to you guys to have reached this point? I know it's bittersweet right now, but just the overall trajectory of the program with a season like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've raised the bar. Coach Lashley asked us back in February, that was, we all had T-shirts on and said raise it, and I thought we did that. I thought our program as a whole, we raised it in recruiting, we raised it in operations, we raised it in equipment and video and coaching and playing, and these guys were unafraid, and our fans raised it, and our obviously our program and what they've invested into it's raised it. Our administration has raised their level, and I think that with that comes raised expectations, which is good. It's what we want, right? That's the cost of doing these things, is that you have a chance to do that. And we set a school record for attendance, so our fans understand what's going on, right? Still didn't, it was amazing to experience a crowd like it was today, right? As a football guy, being able to get out there and be at a place that is such a, what a unique atmosphere it was. But I think as far as the trajectory of the program, I think we've raised it, right? We've set a new standard, and our kids have bought into that, and they understand that, and we've got great leadership, and we've got great exiting senior leadership that's done a fabulous job here for us the last 2 years, right? Going to 2 conference championship games, winning 1, winning 22 games, I believe. And so, and we got a new crop of sophomores and juniors that have played a lot of football for us, significant football for us, that are gonna have to take that leadership torch and lead us forward going. But I think that they've now had a taste of what it looks like, and I think the country's had a taste of what SMU can be, and the danger that we can provide, to them, and the excitement that we can provide. And I really look forward to watching Scott develop our defense and watch Kevin develop our offense. And man, I think that the future's bright, and we're gonna be disappointed today, as we should, and we're gonna go home, get some rest, and recruit, and get back to work. But if we can sit and take measure of this season, then we're gonna try to do that here in the next couple of hours.
Coach Woods, Coach Symons, thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.